Nice to see everyone. My name is Sophia Moshasha. I'm coming to you guys representing the VR Association. I'm the DC chapter president, and I also co-host their podcast, Everything VR and AR. So if you want to learn more about what's going on in the industry from some of the leaders in the industry, please feel free to search for that. Yeah, I mean, it's not the metaverse, the metaverse. We all have our own definitions for what that is, and that is going to be continuing to evolve over time, especially as you know, people like you all start getting involved in these technologies and kind of applying them to your specific industry sectors. So it will be interesting to see how that does evolve with collaboration between and across industry. Before I go forward, I want to share a couple statistics with you on kind of the state of the industry, and there's so many components to it. I deal mostly with immersive technologies like virtual and augmented reality, so I'll be talking mostly about that, but again, how it integrates with this whole aspect of the metaverse. But there's $54 billion is spent on virtual goods every year already. XR projected market size, XR is all-encompassing of the realities, AR, VR, is 296 billion by 2024, demonstrating a 91% increase year over year. And then 14.94 million units of AR and VR devices are set to ship worldwide in 2022. So as more and more people have these devices in their hands, there's more opportunity, obviously, for doing business and commerce and the economies, you know, virtually and in the metaverse. I know I can't probably go through all of these slides because we don't have time, but I'm going to go through them as fast as I can. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay. All right. So that's me, VR Association, global association with chapters all over the world. Please feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in getting involved. Happy to help there. Differences between AR and VR. Augmented reality has, it's basically pass-through capability. You can see your environment, and then there's overlay graphic content or other types of content overlaid onto the environment. Virtual reality, you're completely occluded and taking you into a different environment altogether. And there's mobile AR that you get through your phone. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this through Instagram, Snapchat, you know, all of the furniture companies are now doing it. And then there's head-mounted display, HMD augmented reality, like the Magic Leap and the HoloLens. Same with virtual reality. There's mobile VR, which is mostly 360-degree video that you can see through a cell phone and slip it into a device. And then you have head-mounted display VR, the Oculus and the HTC Vive. These are some pictures of me trying different peripheral capabilities that are out there. So there's biometric capabilities, haptics capabilities, capabilities to interact with robots through virtual reality, and then olfactory capabilities, just to be able to smell what you're seeing in simulation. Digital twins. You've probably seen something like this through Matterport, but with digital twin capability, you're actually able to interact with the environment of whatever you are replicating in real life or in virtual. Graph that shows changing media consumption. I am not going to go through all of this right now. This is something that I wanted to talk about. So the definition of metaverse, like I said, is vast, but I think generally what people tend to agree with is that it's a persistent place, and it continues to live on whether you are there or not. It's a completely different, just like the real world, completely different economy, and people are interacting and transacting and whatever else they do in these spaces, whether you are there or not. So that goes into the social aspect of it. Interoperability is key in defining the metaverse, and that's where we get into WebXR and Web 3.0 capabilities, because we want to stress on the fact that it's not going to be a closed wall environment like potentially like a Meta and the things that the platforms that they're building. We want to be able to have worlds that we can travel through and within, and have them be all kind of interconnected. Decentralized, no ownership, user defined. We were able to create our own worlds and our own assets and environments that help define who we are as individuals or as companies or whatever that might be. I'm going to move forward. This is the Metaverse market map, just a snapshot of the companies and the investments that are happening right now and kind of what they're doing in the space. And there's a lot of, every big tech company has invested, and non-tech company for that matter. Some key components of what makes a metaverse are the infrastructure, virtual engines, the interface, and the user experiences, kind of all layered on one another. Web 3.0, big topic of the metaverse. I do a lot with WebXR. If you want to learn more about that, go to WebXR .events, I believe, or thepolys.com. And so basically this slide just shows the evolution of the web and how there's different layers of that coincide to be able to create these different evolutions. And so AR and VR is just the potential visual modality of the metaverse, but you can also access these spaces through any other device, your mobile device or your computer. AI and blockchain will be huge components of what makes this Web 3.0 infrastructure as well. I'm not going to show you that. Just some screenshots of me and my different metaverses here. You have Somnium Space, you have Facebook Horizons, you have Frame VR, Altspace VR, Engage, VR Land. Those are the ones that I see here, and those are all me. Some considerations that we're constantly exploring in developing out these capabilities. And this is a slide that I presented to the FBI actually, because they actually were looking. They wanted to know what they should be caring about in this space, because they know it's something they should be caring about. And so things like what kind of data is collected and who is that owned by, where is that stored, deep fakes, you know, the right to somebody's likeness, because you can turn anybody into an avatar that we can rig that now. There's a lot of awesome capabilities, but there's also a lot of considerations that must be taken along the way. And being able to social engineering, being able to manipulate people a lot easier actually than you can traditionally do through websites and emails, and it's kind of those phishing scams. Preferences of virtual activities. You see a lot of, and I'll go into this slide as well, you see a lot of people wanting to do a lot of multiplayer experiences, being able to socialize with one another, being able to meet with one another and do things with different people. So it definitely is going to make it more of a global economy than what we already have today. Just some resources here for anybody that's interested in joining Reality Innovators Network is a group on LinkedIn. It's a group that I manage. It's the largest network on LinkedIn dedicated to XR and the metaverse. And so that's it.